All right, students. So what you see are four graphs. One, two, three, four. Okay. The question is, which of the following is not a motion which is in one dimension? Okay. So you have to identify that motion which is not in one dimension. Now let's say, uh, let's analyze each one of them, right? So this is VT graph. You can see this VT graph. In this VT graph, if you notice, the velocity increases first. So this is a uniform, right? So this is uniformly accelerated. It attains the highest velocity and then uniformly decelerates. This can happen in a one dimension motion. So if you have a car which goes, it increases the velocity, it reaches the peak velocity, you start applying brake, and then your velocity goes down and becomes zero. So this is the first part, which is your AB, is your uniform acceleration, right? So this is uniform acceleration. The second part is A, which is uniform deceleration, right? It's in the same direction, but it is decelerating now. The velocity is going down. Let's talk about this figure. I mean, my initial reaction to this figure is I don't know what is this. So I will not analyze it. Let me go to the next one. We'll come back to this. If I see this figure, I can draw the slope here, right? I can draw a slope here. I can draw a slope here. I can draw a slope here and I can draw a slope here. So everywhere I have a new acceleration, A1, A2, A3, A4. So these are VT graphs, all of them, right? So these are VT graphs. In this motion, what I see is non-uniform accelerated motion. And our day-to-day motion, for example, if we drive a car or cycle or a bike or whatever, now we increase the speed, then the brake comes because people come in front of us. There is a red light. Again, we increase the speed. So in this case, it's a case where the person is gradually accelerating, but the acceleration is not fixed. It is like a cyclist, right? In a race, initially slow, increases, reaches the peak. So this is the case of non-uniform acceleration. You can have in one dimension. Okay, nothing wrong. So I find this to be correct. And I find this also to be correct. Then I go to this figure, which is a VT graph. Okay, when I notice this, what I notice clearly is that the velocity and the time are related to each other with a sine graph. Right? So velocity is a function of some sine graph. Could be something like this, sine t. Could be 3 because this is the magnitude, right? So at t is equal to 90 degrees, I get a velocity of 3. Okay? And here I get a velocity of 9. So if I think in terms of a motion which gives me sine curve, a, a spring which is connected to a block, right? So it is lying on the ground, it is pulled, and then you leave it, right? So about this point, what it shows is the simple harmonic motion. It reaches the the x max, which is the amplitude of the motion, and this is the other side, the amplitude of the motion. The largest distance it moves from the mean point. So this is your mean point it moves. Okay. So if you notice, this is still a linear motion. This is a linear motion with non-uniform acceleration. This is a uniformly accelerated and uniformly decelerated motion. Now let's come back to this strange looking figure, which is a circle, right? So generally what happens is if you know the center of the circle, these could be fixed points somewhere. The equation of the circle is x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to the square of the radius. Okay, so square of the radius. So this is your radius, for example, r. If I notice for a single time for t1, the body has two velocities, right? So I mean, this is a velocity of the body, this is a second velocity of the body. Now, how is it possible that a body has two velocities at a given point of time? To me, this motion doesn't sound like any motion. I mean, if I understand it correctly, if I'm in a motion, I will have only one velocity at a given point of time from a reference frame. How can I have two velocities? And there is no mention of frames of reference or where are we watching, nothing. That's a straightforward question. The velocity is being measured from the ground and the observer is at the ground. So to me, this graph appears outright wrong. Although my intuition initially told me this is wrong, but I still wanted to analyze each one of them for your benefit, because unless the physics is explained, it is not going to enter your mind. Explanation is the key to physics. The detail, why this is happening, is the reason you are able to learn physics. Okay? And then, of course, what you need to do is solve numericals to practice the concepts you have built. The first step is obviously to understand the explanations, the concepts, and then apply them through practice, so that you're able to retain them properly. That's very important. And then appear for test, for example. Okay, very important question again for students who are preparing for entrance examination or any board. You can expect numericals which are like these on the topics of uniform acceleration, non-uniform acceleration, and the topics of projectile and stuff like that. Go and watch my playlist. You will see hundreds of numericals on motion in straight line kinematics. You will see some 90 odd videos on the topic of projectile. Fantastic explanations have been given. So don't hesitate to go and watch. What you will feel is as if you're in the class and somebody's teaching you in the class. That's a level of detailing and explanation you will find. Okay, so those videos are meant to help you. Okay, so don't forget to watch them if you're preparing for an examination. And then on top of that, I have built a large repository of questions which is increasing every day. Thousands and thousands of students are attempting those questions and seeing where they stand. It's like a free test series for you. So go and attempt that also. It's a community I've built. So thank you very much for your time today. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.